1 year, 4 long-distance road trips, 25,278 miles, 2 flat tires, 1 new tire, 1 very expensive 4-wheel alignment, a partridge in a pear tree, and I have to ask myself this one very important question. Is the Model Y long range actually worth it? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Boondock Tesla. In today's video, I'm talking about all of our experiences over the past year as first-time EV owners with our Tesla Model Y long range, the pros, the cons, the costs associated with EV ownership, and some of the struggles we experienced as new EV owners. Starting off with the low points, because I'm a little bit weird and I like to end on a high note. Con number 1, which I've mentioned before, is no spare tire. Come on, Tesla. You need to remedy this, especially if you want to expand into the rural market. Over this past year, we've had terrible experiences with flat tires, and even so much to the point where we had to invest in a new tire and there was hardly any miles on the vehicle itself, costing us $258 in one tire. Now, number 2 on the cons list is no rear climate control. This is a big issue, especially on those long road trips when you have friends in the back that want to control the climate and don't want to pester you while you're driving to make changes to the air conditioning. Big letdown for the Model Y, and an obvious area that they could make improvement in their Juniper refresh that's supposed to be coming out next year. We found on our long distance road trips during the summer with our friends that it was manageable but not ideal. For a vehicle that's over $50,000, there should be integrated rear climate control that the rear passengers can access. Number 3 on the cons list is the cost of service at the Tesla dealership. Now, one of the downsides to owning an EV, Tesla especially, is that there are very few repair facilities that will actually take the risk for working on a Tesla. So most of the time you have to take them back to the dealership. Well, this creates a bit of a monopoly because the dealer can charge anything they want to repair the vehicle. Our situation with the dealership was that we needed a 4-wheel alignment. Our roads here in the mountains of eastern Tennessee are sharp and curvy, and they chew up tires very quickly. If you don't have your vehicle aligned, that can be a problem. So I called up my local repair facilities, none of which were willing to actually do the alignment on the Tesla. They claimed that they didn't have the proper software to do the alignment and reset the sensors and cameras and all that crazy stuff on the car. So I ended up having to go back to Tesla. Well, this resulted in a $300 alignment charge. I was shocked, to say the least. That is insanely expensive for a 4-wheel alignment. You can't tell me that Tesla has some proprietary system that costs that much to actually align these vehicles. The same mechanics underneath the vehicles, including tie rod ends and control arm adjustments, are there on the Model Y, just like they are on traditional vehicles. Number 4 on the cons list is no integrated satellite receiver transmitter. This is so important, and I've talked about this before in some of my previous videos. If you are out in the country and you have no cell phone service, how are you going to contact Tesla service to fix your flat tire if you don't have service to contact them? Doesn't make any sense, right? Easy solution: include a satellite receiver transmitter, much like Chevy's OnStar. You push a button, it connects you with a repair facility and a tow truck driver, and they can fix your situation. Tesla's current setup, where it's using cellular networks, just isn't feasible for the rural communities. Hopefully with future Model Ys, we'll see the inclusion of a satellite transmitter receiver to remedy that problem. Especially, Tesla hopes to expand into the rural market. Our final spot on the cons list goes to battery degradation. Now, this is expected. Even in the Tesla owner's manual, it tells you within the first year you're going to lose between 5 and 10% of the total battery capacity due to natural battery degradation. And this is a bit frustrating, but it happens with internal combustion engines as well. Typically much later in their lives, once there is carbon buildup on the valves and different internal components of the engine, you're going to lose efficiency, therefore your fuel mileage will go down. Unfortunately, Tesla is opposite. So 5 to 10% average loss. We lost a total of 14 miles, so our total battery capacity at 100% charge went from 330 miles down to 316. 14 miles is a lot, but it's within the average range of that 5%. I understand that battery degradation is a part of EV ownership, and I am grateful that it was on the lower end of the spectrum. Now we're moving into pros. The number 1 pro for ownership of a Tesla Model Y long range is the fuel savings. Holy cow, what a difference it has made on our wallet driving an electric vehicle. And I'm going to break down the numbers with you right now. So we drove a total of 25,278 miles over this past year. Just in fuel costs, if we were to put that same amount of miles on our previous vehicle, the Subaru Ascent, it would have cost us $3,538. Compared to the $740 it cost us to drive that distance in the Tesla Model Y. That's a huge win for Tesla in my book. Pro number 2, insurance costs actually went down, which is contrary to many of the reviews I've read about owning a Tesla when people say that their insurance costs actually went up because of the EV vehicles and how expensive they are to repair. In our case, our insurance dropped by $20 because of the safety rating of the Model Y. It's a very safe vehicle, very difficult to roll over. That drop in insurance costs saved us over $240 annually. I felt like that was very reasonable for that vehicle, especially with it being brand new and an EV. Coming in at number 3 on the pros list is the low maintenance that the Model Y actually requires. And other than that one four-wheel alignment, which I owe to the poor conditions of some of these country back roads, we've had zero maintenance costs on the Tesla Model Y long range. I find that to be a very significant savings in time and money. Number 4 on the pros list is the software updates. These updates bring new features, added displays, new streaming services, new functionality in the car. It's like adding car options after you've purchased a vehicle and you're not paying any extra for them. Why isn't that a good thing? I absolutely love that about Tesla. I love that they're continually adding value to their vehicle, even after a year of owning this vehicle when they don't have to do that. They're still finding ways to keep you engaged, to keep you interested, to keep you loving the experience of driving your Tesla. Number 5 on the pros and cons list is the get up and go. This pony has some speed. Now, our Model Y long range does have the acceleration boost, but even before we had that added on, it is very fast in its stock configuration. My wife absolutely loves the acceleration in the vehicle. She feels comfortable and safe when she's merging on the highway or when she has to quickly change lanes because of a distracted driver situation. She feels very safe in the vehicle thanks to its responsive acceleration. Number 6 on the pros and cons list is the supercharging network. Guys, when we first purchased the Tesla Model Y long range a year ago, we were very concerned about range anxiety. It's a real thing if you're an EV owner, at least for the first little bit, until you realize the supercharging network totally crushes range anxiety. We've taken 4 long distance trips and we have had zero issues charging our vehicle, finding a charging stall, or with any of the reliability for the supercharging network across various states. It is superb. Now, I've got friends that have owned other EV makes and models, non-Teslas, and that's not the same story for them. Charging network removes range anxiety. Tesla's continually sending out software updates. Many of those updates deal with charging speeds, times, and functionality to help you get on your trip and reduce the amount of time you actually have to charge to make it to the next destination. It is fantastic. Now, the last point I have on my pros list is the overall convenience of the Model Y. Dog mode, climate control mode accessed from your phone so your car is nice and warm in the winter or nice and cool in the summer, and Sentry mode, which provides an extra layer of added security to your vehicle, is just fantastic. Not to mention all of the other modern conveniences built into the software, into the vehicle. It's just a joy to drive, and that convenience of being able to preset your routine, have your vehicle nice and toasty in the wintertime when you're hopping in and it's below zero, is fantastic. We've owned the Model Y for a year now. We've taken long distance trips. We've ridden it around in town. We've taken it on flat roads, icy roads, snowy roads, country roads. We've been in all types of different weather conditions. We've put this car through the paces. And my wife and I have given it careful consideration and thought as to whether or not we should keep the Model Y or trade it in and go back to the old familiar comfort of an internal combustion engine. And I think the final verdict can be summed up in something my wife told me the other day as we were driving the Model Y into the city. As she pressed the accelerator pedal down to merge onto the highway safely and securely, a slight grin came over her face, and she said to me, "This is my favorite car I've ever owned." Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.